I'm Andy Murdoch, and I'm the Senior Lecturer in Horticulture at the College of Agriculture and Food and Rural Enterprise. The main basis is training people in horticulture and training them and educating them, skills, etc. As well as that, it's like dealing with people on a daily basis, trying to take them from one place and skilling them up to get a job. We're working with 16, 17-year-olds where they're actually developing and starting a career. I loved sort of working in the garden at home, and I just took it from there. I didn't really realise that I was going to have a career in horticulture at that stage. It was just an interest. And then I thought, well, I'm going to leave school. What am I going to do? Went to college and actually came to this college and did a one-year programme here. And that was the start of it. My dad had a dairy farm, and so it was logical that I would be a dairy farmer. And I knew that's one thing I didn't want to do because I tried that out. But I always was in the garden outdoors doing that type of thing. And I was only son, so and it was a hand-down family farm. And it was his father's and his father's before that. So there's a long tradition of dairy farmers there. And it was expected, everybody in the family would expect that I would then be the dairy farmer. It's very difficult to change the flow, the expectation ever since you've been born, that you're going to be the farmer, the person who's going to take on, expand, you know, buy some more land, expand it, move on ahead up. There was always that expectation. And then to suddenly say, well, no, I don't want to do that, I think that was quite difficult. I think that during that summertime, in June, July, August was quite a difficult time. As a dairy farmer, you're very isolated. You're working very much on your own. Whereas my job here, I'm working very much as a big team. Well, he's retired dairy farmer, and I'm working here happily. So he's sold most of his cows now, so and everything's worked out okay. At school, I did the GCSEs. I didn't really have much interest. I wasn't really applying myself very well, and I wasn't really focused, I suppose, at that stage. And somehow then I just seemed to fall into what do I want to do, and I thought, yeah, horticulture, definitely. After I left college, I went over to Scotland and I completed more qualifications. And then I came back to Northern Ireland and I got a job in a garden centre. And I managed the garden centre to begin with. And that was for about 3 years. And after that, I moved into parks management. And I was into parks management for about 7 years. And had a great time in that. Managing local authorities, sports facilities, burials, graveyards, and also making sure that the parks were looking good. It was really built up with experience and qualifications. The job spec for this job was really experience and qualifications and coming back into it. And then when I got back into this job, I needed to get more qualifications, specialised qualifications, on-job training as such. So I went back to university and did a postgrad in education. And then I went back and did a master's in horticulture. I think there's been a lot. I think choosing and making that decision to come and study horticulture that wasn't a family tradition was a turning point. And another turning point, I think, was to decide to come into teaching, because I was in a very good job in the Parks department, and deciding to move from that into a teaching job was, I think, a different job.